All right, so 9.2, two variable linear systems. So for these, we're going to go ahead and use elimination. So first thing you have to do is make sure your x's and y's or whatever constants you have are lined up. Okay, if needed, you have to change one or both of the equations so that when combining the variables, they'll cancel out. So changing meaning multiply one or the other, or you can do both sometimes depending on what they're giving you. Okay, so cancel out one variable, combine the equations, solve for the remaining variable, and then plug it back in. Keep in mind your answers can have no solution if the statement is false. What do we mean by false? Does 4 equal 7? No. So your answer would be no solution. But now if it's true, for example, 28 equals 28, that is true, it would be all real numbers. So make sure you guys pay attention to that. So going ahead, doing the examples, looking at number 1, solving number 1 first, looking at it. Do I have something I can cancel out here? Yes, I do. I have my 2y's right here. They could be canceled out because they're opposite signs and they're the same thing. So think about it. If I were to add 2y, 2y minus 2y, they're going to cancel out. So these two are canceling out. I'm going to end up with adding them. That's what we're doing. Again, this is elimination. 8x will equal 16. I can solve for x by dividing by 8. And x is going to equal 2. Now, I'm going to take that 2 and I'm going to plug it in. Okay, so plugging it in, taking this 2, plugging it in to either one of these, plugging it into the original. Doesn't matter which original you want to plug it into. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and plug it into the first one because I have some smaller numbers. So now I'm going to have 3 times 2 and plus 2y equals 4. And now I'm solving for y. So I'm going to end up with 6 plus 2y equals 4. Subtract 6 from both sides. I'm going to end up with 2y equals negative 2. Divide by 2, and y is going to equal 1. Don't forget, your answers must be written as an ordered pair. So my answer for this will be x comma y in that format. And oops, don't forget it is negative 1 because of my signs. So my answer would be 2 comma negative 1 in parentheses. Going ahead and looking at, we'll do number 2. Same thing here. However, I do see that I have two x's, but they're not different signs. They're both positive. But I do see that my y's are different signs. So in this case, same thing like I did before. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out my y's. And I'm adding. I'm going to have 4x equals 3. And in this case, I am going to get a fraction. Divide both sides by 4. And x is going to equal 3 over 4. Don't be scared of a fraction. Now all I have to do is take what my x was, plug it back into y. Plug it into x and solve for y. I'm plugging it into my top one because my y is positive. So what this is going to look like is 2. I'm going to change it to 2 over 1 times 3 over 4 plus y equals 4. I could cross simplify here, 1 and 2. So now I have 3 over 2 plus y equals 4. And I'm subtracting 3 over 2 from both sides. And again, I have to have that common denominator. So multiplying the denominator by 2. What I do to the bottom, I also have to do to the top. So I'm going to have y equals 8 over 2. Minus 3 over 2, and all you're doing is subtracting. So 8 minus 3 is going to give me 5. Y is going to equal 5 over 2. Don't forget your answer has to be written as an ordered pair. X first, then y. And again, make sure it's in those parentheses, and this would be my answer. All right, going ahead to number 3. Again, this is just algebra 1, nothing new here. Looking at number 3, if I'm looking at this, I can see that none of these have something in common with opposite signs, okay? So I'm going to find the least common multiple, okay? And because I have y by itself, and this has a 4, I know I have to get something where there's a 4 in front, okay? So what that means is I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything on the bottom by 4. So I'm going to write what I have. So this is written in white. I have 2x minus 4y equals -7. And by multiplying by 4, I'm now going to have 20x plus 4y equals -4. Now I can solve. My y's are going to cancel out. I'm going to get 22x equals -11. Divide by 22. Super easy for this one. And x is going to equal -1/2. So I have a fraction again. I'm going to take that fraction and I'm going to plug it into x. Now for this case, I'm going to go ahead and take it and I am plugging it into my bottom x. Why? Because y is already by itself, and to me that is easier, so I'm going to just plug it into that. So for this one, I'm going to have 5/1 times -1/2 plus y equals -1. Solving this, I'm going to have -5/2 plus y equals -1. I'm going to add 5/2. And keep in mind, you have to get a common denominator. So I'm now going to have y equals -2/2 plus 5/2. And I'm going to end up with y equals 3/2. So I have my x, I have my y, writing my answer. It's going to be in parentheses x first, -1/2, comma, 3/2, close parentheses, and this would be my answer. All right, going ahead to number 4. Same thing here, I don't have anything in common, so I have to go ahead and change something. And because I already have 2 of the opposite signs, and there's nothing in front of my y, I want to try and get a 3 here. And again, the only way for me to get a 3 here is I have to multiply everything by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my top. I have 2x plus 3y equals 17. And I'm changing the bottom to 15x minus 3y equals 51. Okay, so now we can go ahead and cancel out those y's. Again, you don't necessarily have to do y, you can do x as well. But if you were to change your x's, you'd have to multiply by either a negative at the top or a negative at the bottom because you want them to have opposite signs. So continuing, I'm going to get 17x equals 17 plus 51. I'm going to end up with 68 divided by 17. Cancel those out, and I'm going to end up with x equaling 4. So now I'm going to go ahead and take that x and plug it in. Now, I don't have a positive y by itself. I have it with 3 or I have it with a negative. But because this does not have a number in front, I'm going to go ahead and use the same bottom one. So taking this x, plugging it into that bottom one, I'm going to have 5 times 4 minus y equals 17. 5 times 4 gives me 20 minus y equals 17. And then looking at it, I'm going to go ahead and, let me change this color, change it to black, subtract 20 from both sides. And I'm going to get negative y equals 3, divide by -1, and y is going to equal -3. So now I have my answer. Go ahead and writing it down. Keep in mind, in parentheses, x first. 4, -3 would be my answer. So make sure you guys know how to solve using elimination. All right, looking at these next examples, let's go ahead and solve for number 5. Now with this one, I do have opposite signs here. So I have to find a multiple of 3 and 4, and that's going to give me my least common is going to be 12. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the entire top by 4, multiply my bottom by 3, and writing these out. I'm going to have 20x plus 12y equals 36. And then the bottom, I'm going to have 6x minus 12y equals 42. And solving these, my y's are going to cancel out. I'm going to get 26x equals 78. Divide by 26. And x is going to equal 3. Now I'm going to take that x and I'm going to plug it into a y. Does not matter which y. But personally, my preference is I want to plug it into a y that has a positive. So I'm going to take this and I'm plugging it into the top one. So now I have 5 times 3 plus 3y equals 9. And I have 15 plus 3y equals 9. Subtract 15 to both sides. I'm going to get 3y equals negative 6 and divide by 3 on both sides. And y is going to equal negative 2. So now I have x and y, writing my answer inside parentheses. X first, then y. And 3 comma negative 2 is my answer. All right, and going over to number 6. Now this one, I don't have one that's negative. They're all positive here. So I have to change one. I'm going to use my x's, okay? Because they're both smaller numbers, I can get obviously smaller numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top by 2 and my bottom by negative 3. So again, you can multiply both of them. Don't be scared to do that. So I'm going to have 6x plus 4y equals 14 for the top. And the bottom, after multiplying negative 3, I'm going to get negative 6x minus 15y equals negative 3. And canceling out my x's, I'm going to end up with negative 11y equals 11. Divide by negative 11. And I'm going to get y equals negative 1. Okay, so now that I solve for y, I'm going to go ahead and plug it back in and solve for x. Now, same thing like I said, I like to choose the smallest numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it into this one. So now I have 3 times negative 1. I'm sorry, not 3 times negative 1. It's going to be erasing this. It's 3x. So I'm solving for x because I have y. Plus 2 times negative 1 equals 7. 3x minus 2 equals 7. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. 3x equals 9 and divide by 3. So x is going to equal 3. And again, I have my ordered pair. X first, then y inside parentheses, and this would be my answer. All right, looking at number 7, we did make a little change right there. There is a 2 next to that y. So solving this one, looking at it, I don't have opposite signs. So for this one, I want to go ahead and change the top to try and get a positive 2 in front of that y to cancel it out. So that means I'm multiplying by negative 2. What am I going to have? Negative 4x plus 2y equals negative 2. And then my bottom is staying the same, 4x minus 2y equals positive 2. Now watch what's going to happen here. My x's cancel out, my y's cancel out, that's 0. Equals negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So in this case, your answer would be all real numbers. And that would be my answer. So this one was a quick one. Make sure you know all real numbers and how to solve it. All right, looking at number 8. This is the last one. I want to go ahead and change this x to be 2x so I could cancel these out. So multiplying the top by a positive 2, I'm going to have 2x minus 4y equals 6. And the bottom is going to stay the same, negative 2x plus 4y equals 1. And again, like the last question, my x's cancel out, my y's cancel out, that's 0. Equals 6 plus 1 is 7. Does 0 equal 7? Absolutely not. Your answer would be no solution. So understand the difference between no solution and all real numbers. Keep in mind 0 cannot equal 7, but 0 does equal 0. So make sure you guys practice. This is, again, elimination.